Well, very, very physical, hard-fought game. I'm happy we were able to win. I think it was a game that's going to really help our basketball team grow and mature as we go, for example, to our next game in Houston against Texas A&M. Certainly for conference play, it was as physical of a game that we've been in this year, and I think it caught us off guard for a while. But as evidenced by the free throw attempts in the second half, we had a number of players rise to the challenge, not only get to the foul line and then convert. And I thought our defense was really good. I mean, our turnovers were insane. We have 3 post players that combined for 10. And, you play 14 minutes in Chance's case. That's something he's got to really work on. But he's making the same mistakes constantly, setting screens, and 4 turnovers in 14 minutes. Dusan 3 turnovers. Keanu 3 turnovers. When your post players have 10 turnovers in a game and they don't really handle the ball a lot on the perimeter, it's hard to win. And I think the thing that really offset that tonight was our physical play, rebounding, very good defense, and we took advantage of our size. Certainly, we can't take advantage of our depth. Nobody has less depth than us.
The physical nature of it and the defense that you had to play, especially on the perimeter, it maybe explains some of the turnovers, do you think, or?
No, I mean, our turnovers are, when you set a screen, you got to stop. I mean, that's something that I think you go over. But in and around the rim, Grand Canyon is really quick and hard playing, and they're slapping at the ball and they're trying to steal it as opposed to just kind of coming into play. And I thought that caught us off guard in the first half. We adjusted a little bit better in the second. But that's the frustrating part. When you have 19 turnovers in a game, but 10 of the 19 are coming from 3 post players, it doesn't make the game feel good. A number of those are around the basket. If we convert those or we get fouled instead of a turnover, the game goes a different way. I thought Kadeem Allen's individual effort level was incredible on a very, very good player, Dwayne Russell. And, he had 19 points on 21 shots. And, I think that looking at Dwayne Russell, that was as hard as he's had to work to get a good one off. Our team did a good job, but Kadeem really, really did a great job. And, unfortunately for Kadeem, he can't foul. The breakaway late in the game is a big learning experience for him. He just has to let the guy score, because for him to give him an and one and foul and have his 4th foul really puts us in jeopardy.
You tell Lowry, a guy who likely hasn't struggled very often in his life after this stretch?
He just has to move on. It's not going to be a perfect season from the beginning to the end. He's a very, very talented player. But it was a physical game tonight, and it was a hard-playing game. Drives were heavily contested. There's a lot of quickness on the floor, and in fairness to Lowry, he plays the 3 for us. I mean, there aren't 7-footers unless you're my guy from the New York Knicks, Porzingis, is that his name? I mean, there's nobody who does that. You can't be 7 foot and use ball screens and dribble, but that's the position he plays for us because we have 3 guards. So in fairness to him, I think developing, it's a great thing, but he's not in a position to be at his best because of our situation. And I thought that showed a little bit tonight, but he'll be back. I think he'll play great on Saturday.
Do you think he's trying to do too much?
No.
That simple, he's just trying to do it.
And he had 5 offensive rebounds, 8 total rebounds, 11 points. He's 4 for 8 from the line. If he makes his free throws, he has 15 and 8, and you say, hey, he didn't play well. He had 1 turnover. So where he struggled was on a couple drives late. I thought he lost his confidence. And then when you're a 90% free throw shooter and you miss free throws, it can steal your mind. And so he'll get through that, and he'll be better.
Sean, through 10, 11 games, do you see as an identity yet?
I think we have a tough team. I think we have a lot of hard-nosed guys that really that don't back down from a challenge. The role of our 3 freshmen, Raleigh, Kobe, and Lowry, cannot be understated. We're depending on them to make scouting decisions that are usually reserved for an older player, guarding really good players, playing heavy minutes. They have to score and play well for our team to win. And I think it's, bringing out the best in them, but like Raleigh, for example, he went 0 for 5 from 3. Part of why he shot 5 threes is he felt really good about his 3-point shot from last game. but he didn't let that bother him. He had 8 rebounds, 7 defensive rebounds, and he scored 4 two-point field goals, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 33 minutes. Again, I thought when a game really got tough, he got tough. He's from Brooklyn. He's seen that before. That's who he is. So I think the identity of our team right now is to be that type of team where we're not going to back down. We're going to be physical. We're going to be tough-minded, and we're going to try to find a way to win.
Did you think he probably would be the offensive rebounder that he is? I mean, he only had 1 denied, but it seems like when he goes in there to try to steal the basketball and really attack it.
That's something he does very well, for sure. Yep.
Do you think, I don't know, you talked about the freshmen, but that they've grown up a lot in the last 6 weeks?
Yes.
Because they had to?
Yeah. Baptism by fire. It's one thing to have the coach teach in practice or use one of their teammates as an example, but, like Kobe, one of the things he's not used to is defensive rebounding. He's never really had to do it. And a number of times what he does is he plays really hard defense and then he leaks out. Well, when you're playing against a team like Grand Canyon, you need all 5 defenders on the glass. And I think if you look at his statistics on the season, he had 1 defensive rebound tonight. He's averaging 1 defensive rebound. I think if he keeps rebounding hard in the next couple games, he's going to tie as many defensive rebounds as Parker. Parker's 5'8", and he hasn't played in the last 4 games. He has to rebound for us. If he doesn't rebound, it hurts our team. What better way to teach him that than to allow him to go out there and see the repercussions when you don't block out? So that's part of why they're growing up. Just like in Lowry's case, he's having to guard shooters, small guards, post players, and we're asking him to do everything, and he just got here. But do I think they're developing? No doubt about it. That doesn't make us feel good on like tonight or on Saturday. You just don't have a lot of room for error when you make a lot of mistakes.
Sean, did you get out of this game what you thought you wanted to going up against an in-state team like that?
Yep. Dan Marley does a great job coaching. He got 3 or 4 great shots off of timeouts. We kind of knew that in scouting him. And he gets the most out of his team. Like I said, they're the hardest playing team we've played this season. And, you start talking about Butler, who they are, Michigan State, who they are, Grand Canyon's, they play hard. And they're very physical, and I'm sure that comes from Dan and how they're playing the game. But it was a great test. The other thing is, in my 8 years, I've never seen a section in McHale filled with the visitors. They had a whole section, and you could hear them cheering, and you just tell they got a great spirit about what they're doing, and that's to Grand Canyon's credit. I made the comment earlier this week. We didn't play Grand Canyon to help build their program or do them a favor. If playing us helps build their program, great. We played their team because we respect them. They had 27 wins last year. They have a couple guys injured, and on a given night they can beat anybody. And they're going to be really good in their conference. So we did that to help us, and that's the greatest compliment you can give them. Not, hey, we want to help you get started. We're playing you because you're good, and we respect you. And Dwayne Russell, he'll be as good of an offensive guard as we face all season. And, again, Kadeem met the challenge. Raleigh guarded him for a little bit. Kobe guarded him for a little bit. So that's great experience that we learned it. And, when you turn it over 19 times, it just doesn't feel right. It's good for our guys to experience that as well. That's why we scored 64 points. 19 times we didn't shoot.
If you had to play our role for a minute, if GCU was allowed to be in the NCAA tournament, how far do you think they could go?
Anybody in the NCAA tournament that makes it, including the 16 seed, is capable of winning a game. And I would put them in that same category, especially if they're healthy.
Did you mind playing this late? Did you like this late?
I've kind of learned, just if your team is expected to show up and be ready, then it doesn't help matters to complain as a coach. We played at 10 a.m. our time in Missouri, did a great job. Thought we were ready to play tonight at 9 o'clock. All of our guys are in final exams, and we were back at 10 a.m. on Saturday. It's just, it's part of college basketball. I think every program does it. It's not exclusive to us. I feel bad for our fans because we have such great fans. It makes it difficult on a weekday for them to get excited about the game. You don't get home until midnight, 12:30. I mean, it's not fun as the coach to know that they all came to the game, and you're getting home that late. But that's part of college basketball. If you look across the country, I think every conference does it. Every team has to go through it, and we're no different.